See if he can better that. Much better initiation right now, staying on the outside line. That's what we want to see from Dmitry Semenyuk. Outside line, out of zone 2 is also much better as he's moving on to the long corner. Yeah, I think one of the longest corners in the calendar as he moves on through the outer zone 3. Drops maybe a wheel there off the line, but otherwise both touch and goes are there, and Dmitry Semenyuk over the line, so that will be. And Skoro Bogatov really close there. Nice initiation by both drivers, and let's see if Skoro Bogatov can maintain his proximity. Loses out a little bit, not a little bit, but a lot. A few car lengths right now behind, trying to close the gap. But it looks like it doesn't happen. Oh, almost contact there, and Skoro Bogatov almost onto the side of Gorchak.
This duel was sealed pretty much at the very start, when Dennis slammed his Lexus into Dima's Silvia during initiation. The judges are obliged to carefully examine the circumstances. Miguel makes it to the starting line, but Yermokin was unable to. And the rules do say that if the victim in a crash cannot continue competing, Vaktin got lucky just like so many times before. Astap did very well in the lead. The same can't be said for Alexei as the chaser. Andrei was off to a good start during the second run, but then the gearbox in his Altezza decided that it has had enough. A DNF for Astap, a spot in the top 16 for Vaktin. The heat between Grigory Gusiev and Dmitry Yermokin was effectively over as soon as they initiated during round 1, when a belt snapped in Grika's car, forcing him to stop. Yermokin in the meantime made it to the line. Grigory was not perfect in the lead. Meanwhile, Dmitry was playing it super safe, but not to the point where it was an inact Alexei Vaktin. In their first run, Damir had no trouble gapping Alexei by a few car lengths from start to finish. Meanwhile, both drivers were performing adequately, each on their own level. Calling that tandem drifting is a bit of a stretch, but they were able to avoid any sort of drama. That came a bit later. Oil calls for a timeout, new wheels were fitted, and the drivers headed for the line. During part 2, Grigory did alright in the lead position, while Eng decided to be more cautious than Gusiev. Eng was close and precise, which earned him a spot in the top 6.
So let's see how he can do. Good initiation there, trying to get to the outside zone 1, a little bit with one wheel only. Then outside zone 2 looks better, comes to outside zone 3. Yeah, could have been 1 meter maybe more outside. Touch and go is much better, and he's moving on to outside zone 4. That was good, and right now trying to get to touch and go 3, and he's there.
Or Lexus, as it should be called. The car was also rebuilt in between the seasons, and as far as I could see, there is no WiseFop suspension anymore, but it is well adjusted, and everything is very nice, beautiful, and most importantly, Denis doesn't have any problems in mutual understanding with this car. Just you could see him licking the leader, and Yevgeny Losev is running and in sync, and Yevgeny Losev is shifting inward and cutting through the no-go zone, but he remains extremely close. And again, just like Arkady Srigrazov, he doesn't guess the right transition moment, but still he's very close to Leonid Schneider, who is licking the outside edge, working through the clipping point, and there's a transition, and Losev hesitates in last
up against Danila Vorobyov, hitting him lightly but frequently. Vorobyov took it like a champ and made it to the line without doing a spin to win. However, during the course of there was yet another incident, which won't be the last one at this event. Round 1, Anton's BMW bucked and straightened out. Anton, either because he was upset or he realized that it was over for him, decided to
qualifying attempt on a Nissan 400Z or Forward Racing 400Z, which has lost some weight during the mid-season. Presses the accelerator before the dotted line, tried to touch the no-go zone, but still didn't violate with borders of the track, and now he is sliding right along the white line, using a little bit of hand brake to draw this clear line and running to the last sector. Once again,
that was specially designed for this car. Andrei Astapov is doing an initiation, maybe not the sharpest possible, but this is an impressive angle and a lot of smoke. This is how the rear wings of this vehicle are designed, to emit as much smoke as possible. Then he makes a little wave on the way to OZ1, but nevertheless he fills it from the beginning to the end. And the same he does in OZ2, and now only one inner touch and go previous achievement. Then he will
be higher than Dmitry in the rating. If it doesn't happen, then Dmitry Mohin will be rated higher than Georgy Chevchan. But so far, he's doing very good. He moved a little away from the white border of the line. He collected touch and go 2 perfectly, and he was also very close to perfect in the O's at 2, to the applause of the audience. It isn't as a product of Les Grigory Gusev, but he's still on the top of the protocol in its current edition. And each time it goes around the no-go zone, very carefully, very well goes to touch and go 1. Very, very clearly fixes it, and now, whoa, what's that? And he jumps off the track, but he comes back. He takes touch and go 1, and the last outside clip, and yeah, and now this is the finish.
Also fighting for the title. Initiation, good here on the outside zone, also there on the edge. Let's see how he can drift. Yeah, that was good, but not so perfectly. Wise is checking before. As he moves on to 3rd corner, James Dean, of course, the most title drifting pilot in the world. And here also, yeah, it was good, but not on edge. I think he is laying out a good, consistent run. Battle, nothing can be. Ooh, and the Aramov goes off somehow. Oh, big mistake by him. Gusev tries to continue and continues quite well right now. Shouldn't do that, but does it for the fans, of course, and as an extra practice. But yeah, Abramov didn't initiate somehow something. I don't know what happened there.
Right to business and struck Roman Tivadar right as they were initiating. Another timeout, Kizin was obviously at fault. All Tivadar needed to do was to chase in save mode, which he did, landing a spot in the top 16. But remember this understeer, it'll come up later on. Lightning struck during their 2nd run in the 2nd touch-and-go zone, when Dobrovolsky darted inwards similar to Gorkovenko when he was battling Vaktin. Roman got confused, he jumped forward, the silver Sylvian nudged the white one and spun out in the 3rd touch-and-go zone. This was the 2nd of many moments during this event. Anton doing a fantastic job in the lead, Timofey doing his best as the chaser, final bend, and 0 points for Dmitrienko. What a shame, he was doing well. Timofey was able to successfully mitigate. The 2nd run went even worse for Anton, with him sailing off course during initiation. Timofey makes it to the finish line and into the top 16. 2nd portion of the heat was also disappointing. Sorokapud was doing some odd moves in the lead, while Miguel was pretty far behind. Round 1 was the decider, and the Dennis whose last name is Sorok lead was rather mediocre, in terms of both line and angle. Dobrovolsky literally clung to Gene, aggressively pursuing his opponent all the way to the finish line to the best of his ability. And then came another oh, wow moment. They're off to a great start, both pilots initiate superbly, transition, and after OZ1, things go downhill for Nikolai, with 3 wheels leaving the track twice during this run. Props to Stepan Azerov for doing a good job staying tandem with his opponent despite his maneuvers.
How he will do, always loves this track, loves this layout, and he is on full throttle through outer zone 1, moving on to outer zone 2, missing it a little bit there. Outer zone 3, filling it out really nicely and completely. Touch and go, a little bit of a miss there. What's with this wall? Here he is closer and moving on to the last touch and go, and he's over that.
11th in RDS West and 4th in Sochi Drift Challenge. He's been demonstrating how fit he was and how progressing he was, and finally he got a proposal from Georgy Chevchan to join Forward Auto. And finally he got this beautiful red Silvia 15 equipped with a 2GZ GDE and TDI transmission box. This year Forward Auto
prohibited in the assignment. He didn't slow his opponent down, his pace was on point, even compared to qualifying. Bang on almost to the km/h. Also, he did the same thing during qualifying as well. Meanwhile, Kuznetsov transitioned in the wrong spot, his angle wasn't as wide. Also, the flanker's dynamics were a factor, accounting for all Dan's almost complete lack of practice. Artyom, as per usual, got a great lead run in, with Danila sticking close at first, but he got too aggressive around touch and go 7, narrowly avoiding contact with his opponent and fell behind. Both drivers made it to the line, but that's not what you'd call tandem drifting. Vorobyev was fairly clean in the lead, while Shabanov did exactly what he had to, no more, no less. Their situation was similar to the duel between Azerov and Kozlov. Ilya went in for an attack, but then he sort of lost it and started doing some weird driving. Or maybe his Z was just acting up. Among other things, he drifted by 0.6 degrees in the opposite direction, which is a surefire way to score 0 points. All Astapov had to do was make it to the end while following the